Let's talk some ETFs. Join me, Christian Magoon, CEO at Amplify ETFs, where you got a lot of ways to play different themes and factors. Christian, welcome back to the Schwab Network.
Hey, good to see you, Oliver.
Thank you, sir. Likewise, what are you seeing post-election? Anything flashing on your flows right now?
Yeah, boy, we saw a big boost yesterday to our block ETF, BLOK. Certainly going back to 2018, it's been the largest crypto blockchain sensitive ETF focused on those companies and, Bitcoin itself. So had a big run yesterday, and it's been one of our best performers this year. So the other block, I know we just talked about Square and their block individual symbol, but BLOK, the Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF, certainly riding the crypto wave here.
So BLOK, 44 bucks right now, a huge run off the lows, 2022 to 23 of like $15. The high from back of the COVID mania, closer to 60, with Bitcoin at highs. Where's that gap coming from? Just some stock underperformance there? And how do you tweak that fund, kind of depending on who's doing the best in the crypto world?
Yeah, it's a great question. We've chosen to have this be actively managed. So, during these crypto downturns, the managers go more risk off, and that simply means focusing more on blockchain companies that are a little less sensitive to crypto. And then, they go risk on when Bitcoin is in an uptrend, which tends to move the portfolio to more sensitive equities, which would be crypto mining companies, crypto exchanges, even actually owning crypto ETFs like spot Bitcoin ETFs. So this is really more of a risk managed way to approach this very volatile sector. And I think the results speak for themselves. It's the largest of its kind in the ETF land, going back to 2018, to offer investors exposure to blockchain and cryptocurrency, but do so in a risk-managed approach.
All right. MicroStrategy number 2 in there right now. How is that not number 1, Christian?
Yeah, well, managers are continuing to buy and sell every single day in the block ETF. So the nice thing about the block ETF versus maybe buying a Bitcoin ETF is there is a kind of a risk managed approach dedicated here. So they're buying and selling, they're trimming their risk budgets, they're trying to not get too overweight. And certainly if they own MicroStrategy and just let it ride, it would be a significant portion of the portfolio right now, just as an example of them just managing their risk budget inside this actively managed product.
For sure, yeah. You're not looking to just make a MicroStrategy proxy, right? Somebody wants to go buy MicroStrategy, go for it. Cores is actually the top. Core Scientific, ticker Cores, is top holding right now. Kind of a newer issue in the digital mining world. Cool. All right, nice. So Block making a big comeback here. The crypto stuff makes sense. Anything else that seems election tied, or are the overall kind of trend and flows from this year overwhelming whatever short-term things are happening?
Yeah, I think 2 other ETFs to keep an eye on. Hack really did well yesterday, which is the original cybersecurity ETF, and certainly with election season and kind of all the geopolitical tensions, we are seeing a lot more cybersecurity events, and likely that will continue. So Hack had a real nice day yesterday, coming off the election results. So that's something to look at. On the flip side, some of the dollar strength that we saw yesterday kind of punished one of our better performers this year, which is the Junior Silver Miners ETF, SILJ. SILJ has done quite well, as has silver and gold in general. SILJ invests in junior silver miners, so it's kind of a leverage play. And yesterday kind of took it on the chin, given the strength in the dollar off election results. But today is actually kind of recovering some of those gains. So that's another one to kind of keep an eye on here, depending on kind of what happens with the dollar and kind of some of these fiscal moves. Silver does kind of provide a leverage play versus gold. Yeah, it's a store of value, but also there's industrial usage. You step one level down and you own the miners, and small and mid cap miners. You can see a lot of potential leverage on silver's return. So that's another one to keep an eye on that kind of, again, went down yesterday, but it's having a nice day today in terms of a rebound.
All right. Yeah, looking pretty good, especially if you're looking for buying of dips. The precious metals have been pretty up and to the right. What about when you look at the fixed income side or rates-related stuff, macro-related themes? Christian, what's hot there?
Yeah, we had a lot of interest this year in our ETF YYY, which is an ETF of closed-end funds. The portfolio is divided between bond closed-end funds and equity closed-end funds, and produces a yield of around 11%. So that's had a really good year, not only because it's essentially delivering double-digit income, but closed-end funds, at least bond closed-end funds, deploy leverage. About 33% of their portfolio generally is leveraged. And with rates falling, that's good for bond closed-end funds. Also, most of these funds are trading at a decent discount, 5 to 6% discount below NAV last time I checked. So you get a little bit of a value there. People are still looking for material income, and YYY offers double-digit income diversified across 60 different closed-end funds. Those funds are actively managed by the Nuveens, the Aberdeens, the First Trusts, the BlackRocks of the world, but you're able to buy them at 5 to 6% below NAV, so you get a little bit of a discount there. So that's something that is worth keeping an eye on, especially if we see another rate cut here.
All right. And that one's been running for a while now. So especially with the bond stuff and focus D with the Fed, I like it. I thought maybe that was going to be like a trade for folks upset by the election. Why? Christian, last one with small caps ripping here. Russell breaking out. You guys recently launched a small to mid cap equity ETF, SMAP. What does this do differently? What does it capture? Just real quick.
Yeah, so this is an actively managed small to mid-cap portfolio by Curie RMB. They're a seasoned manager in the space. They're focusing on high-quality small to mid-cap names. They have a mutual fund that's had a good track record over the last 10 years. It's more of an institutional focus. Now they're launching their first retail ETF in partnership with Amplify. It's got some really unique holdings in there. When you look at the 2,500 or so companies in the Russell 2,500. Many of them aren't profitable. They're focusing on high quality, profitable companies. And we've seen some really nice results already from them, including a holding like Trimble yesterday, which does a lot of systems navigation for infrastructure, et cetera. Reported some great earnings, was up 17% yesterday. An example of a high quality small cap stock producing some alpha.
Yeah, TRMB had a monster gap. We were thinking about doing it for overlooked yesterday. Good eyes on that. All right, small to mid cap, SMAP. All right, thanks, Christian. Good to catch up.